Also, Jeremiah, when he says, don't fucking call me again.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real. Like, I thought the conversation needed to be had, yes. I also thought, what was the point of calling him then?
Mm-hmm.
If not to get back together, what was the point?
Feel better.
Right. So that's why I was like, that is fucked up. And you did deserve that. Because, like, that's fucked up to do. Like, he's under the impression, answered on the first ring, mind you. I would have at least gave it a couple. You know what I mean? I would have let it ring a couple times.
Like,
yo, imagine being a Redwood Tree / ogre hybrid, right? And you have to dress down because your parents' genes are so bad that they produced another female ogre Redwood Tree hybrid that is, I can't believe I'm saying this, more busted than you. Jesus, her parents. Ooh, somebody should have stopped them. Her parents, boy, somebody should have stopped them. What the hell is this? You can't convince me that she's not one of them days. Boy, them buffalo genes is strong. Strong like bull. These hoes is hit. Can you imagine being Drew Afualo's sister and you're the less attractive sister? You see, every girl who has a sister and you don't have a fat ass and she got a fat ass, but both of y'all are cute, stop being jealous of her ass, because you could be the sister of Drew Afualo and look more like a dude than she does. You could be the sister of Drew Afualo and be more butch than she is. No wonder Drew thinks she's hot shit. She compares herself to her homely ass sister. These hoes is hit, I say. And crop top, this is the family you want to marry into? This is the genetic pool that you want to reproduce with? I pray to God y'all have sons. But real shit, you can't tell me them sisters ain't Labiquita. You can't tell me they ain't them, they, them, them. You can't tell me they didn't used to be dudes. They're both of them. And if they are women, born women, cis women, as y'all say, how unfortunate. How unfortunate. Speaking of the Labiquita community, this is an excellent segue into those they, thems. You feel me? I didn't realize I was conservative until liberals told me I was conservative. Because, you know, apparently protecting children from sexuality makes you a conservative in 2025. And they're so used to words hurting people's feelings that if they call me a conservative because of how I feel, they think I'm going to feel insulted and walk it back. Never that. If you're a they, them, if you're confused, if you have a mental illness, that is fine. But stay away from the fucking kids. That's our problem. Most people were liberal when it meant let them get married. Let them live the way they want to live. Stop persecuting them. But now most of us are conservative because we actually give a damn about protecting the innocence of children. You see, what I'm learning is that the Labiquita community does not give a shit about children. They care about themselves. They care about people being comfortable. They care about children being comfortable with them, being themselves out loud. They care about children being comfortable, seeing them in their element. Last time I checked, this is a sexual orientation. Why are y'all obsessed with these children know who you sleep with? And then I argue with a stupid motherfucker. He said, well, we just want kids to know that they have the right to choose. You want kids to know that they have the right to choose who they want to have sexual crushes on? Last time I checked, we didn't want children sexually active. Last time I checked, good parents would be appalled to hear about their child having a crush before 7th, 8th grade, much less knowing they have the ability to choose. You want, and y'all are elementary school teachers. You're elementary school teachers, middle school teachers, telling people you're non-binary, you're not a man or a woman, and your parents got to explain that shit to them at the house. It makes me a conservative when I say, I don't think pronouns belong in the classroom in elementary school or middle school, especially as a damn instructor. You're an instructor. You're a shaper of young minds. And sexuality is on your mind when you teaching. That makes me conservative? I guess I'm conservative then. And it's not an insult. It makes you demonic that you're obsessed with these children and sex. Then I argue with this stupid motherfucker. He said, I was telling them they should live their lives. They shouldn't be teachers, though. They can live their lives. They shouldn't be elementary school and middle school teachers, though. He said, but it's just a job. I said, no, it's not. That's how I know you don't have kids. You don't have kids, and you don't think about raising children on a regular basis because you're asinine. If you think teaching is just a job, you are an idiot. If you think anything involving children is just a job, do something else. It don't even pay that good. Why are you obsessed with being around children and letting them know about your sexuality? It's demonic. If you know your sexuality is a big part of your identity, do anything that don't got nothing to do with children. And then he said to me, oh, so you're saying that if I wear a dress, that I'm less of a person? I said, no. I'm saying you shouldn't be around children because you a grown nigga with a beard. I'm so grateful that these liberals are in a place where they say shit out loud, because there is no way in fuck y'all are so obsessed with sexuality when it comes to children. They're fucking kids. But y'all don't hear me. You just want to dance. You just want to sashay around town, making parents uncomfortable. Fuck out of here. Nobody's saying you can't live your life. Nobody's saying you can't do what the fuck you want to do. Just don't do it around children. Then motherfuckers try to tell me, oh, well, it's not that big of a deal. They're not trying to groom the children. Shit.
The sidewalk outside is filled with people waiting for the parade to start. Everyone is wearing whatever makes them feel most like themselves, even if that means wearing hardly anything at all.
Whose church is this? Whose church is this? Whose church is this? You're reading to children. You're reading a children's book to children about sexuality and naked adults in a church.
Non-binary, my pronouns are they, them. I am non-binary, my pronouns are they, them. For example, they are a great art teacher. They taught us how to draw a stitch. It is super important to get our pronouns right. If you do make a mistake, I will politely correct you. Nowhere.
Look at this fucking classroom. This is a children's classroom. Why do you have to teach children if that is your identity? Why can't you teach high school? I don't understand. Why can't you teach high school? Why can't you work for People's Gas? You can be an electrician. There are so many things you could do that don't require your sexuality being the forefront when you're talking about children. You're a girl, bitch. When you're around children, I will address you as such. I don't give a fuck how much of a nigga bitch you think you are. I don't give a fuck how much of a plural them you think you is. When you around children, you should address yourself the way you look. Y'all are trying to groom these children for sexuality. This is why, until I got on the internet for a living, every single time I heard somebody talk about they, them, I just walked away and minded my business. Because the more I think about it, the more it just infuriates me. I understand if you want to walk around and your circle of friends, but the children is where my blood boils.